YouTube, what's going on? Hey man, I wanted to make this video real quick. Um, I just wanted to. It was just something on my mind real quick that I just wanted to put it out there. Um, I just finished watching um, Andrew Jackson, one of his videos. He's talking about um, you know, paying off a truck. He's got a bunch of videos, random videos, vlogs and whatnot. But he's got one video in particular. He's talking about paying off a truck, and like I wanted to get my opinion on that idea because I was thinking, that's an okay topic. I mean, I've got other videos talking about trucks, but I don't know if like I have to go back and look at that video and make sure I'm not talking about the same stuff over and over again. But whatever. Um, um, yeah. So it's like outside of trucking, like I've bought things on credit before I got into trucking. Like I bought a house. I bought 2 houses, as a matter of fact. I bought a handful of cars, different miscellaneous things throughout my life. And I can apply those life experiences to a truck. To me, it's just common sense. Um, like ever since I was old enough to drive, I always pretty much paid for my cars. And usually, um, if I carry a note on a car, I will pay it off as soon as possible and maintain it as long as possible. And that's the same philosophy that I use as far as getting a truck and running a business and making a living. Um, I mean, a lot of guys, depending on who you are and where you come from, like like some guys, like they don't mind just leasing a truck. You know, just leasing the truck. It's just equipment, you know, to do a job. Just like a hammer. A cook uses a stove. You know, a cook may invest in a $10,000 stove, right? You know, just like a truck driver may invest, $150,000 in a truck. Or, if you're a painter, you may invest $5,000 in a paint sprayer. You know, you need a good, reliable paint sprayer to be able to pump paint reliably all the time when you need it to do a job, to make your living. So I apply the same kind of idea to trucking. So it's like, I got this truck, and okay, when I got the truck, Schneider Finance valued the truck at $130,000. All right, the truck had 30,000 miles on it, and after the conversations that I've had with my finance rep, this will be my first year on this truck. Now, I spoke to my finance rep, and he gave me the rundown on what I need to do, as far as continuing a lease with Schneider Finance. And it goes back to a lot of my videos. A lot of guys, I'm just going to tell you, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. That's just real talk. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Because a lot of guys, they think leasing a truck, like every driver going down the road that's doing a lease purchase, they not intend on buying the truck. But anybody with some common sense could get some paper and get a pen and a calculator and calculate, okay, the payments that you making on the truck times how many years, and calculate that and see how much money you got. Okay? Now, you can do that all day long. But see, here's the thing. A lot of guys, what they'll do is they'll say, "Oh, you can go down to the dealership, Lone Mountain, wholesale truck and finance. You can go to a used truck dealer and get a truck for $50,000, right?" It's like, what you guys don't understand is that when you go into these used truck dealers and you buying a $50,000-$60,000 truck, and the truck note, the truck note gonna be low. You know, the truck note gonna be low. The truck note gonna be like about $1,500 a month, right? What is that? About $400 a week. $400 a week. So it's like, your truck note gonna be high, but a lot of guys don't understand is that this is equipment. You need it to do a job, and you go out there and get a used truck. You don't know where that truck came from. Yeah, if you go to Lone Mountain, they'll give you a warranty, but a lot of them warranties are like 30 days, 60 days. You know what I mean? 90-day warranties. After that, you on your own. Not just saying trucks break down all the time, but you don't know where that truck came from. Sure, you can take the truck back and do all this stuff, but meanwhile, you got to make a living. And for a truck like that to be your first truck, I wouldn't recommend it. You know, like, even if you going to go get a used truck, I would recommend doing a 1-year lease so you can build up capital. Then go get a used truck. But to go buy a used truck and stay in it, I don't recommend it. Especially as a first time truck. That's just my opinion. But a lot of guys, you know, you talk to different guys out here, experienced guys out here, what they'll tell you is that, oh, take that truck back. That truck note too high. Blah, 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 blah. But it's like, they don't understand. It's like, you go get a new truck. The truck is going to be about $130,000 to $150,000, right? But if you go get a used truck, it's going to be about $50,000 to $60,000. Now, that new truck is going to have very, very low miles. You know, anywhere from 0 miles to maybe 50,000 miles. It's a brand new truck, basically. Now, you go get a used truck. Typically, from what I've seen, used trucks in that 40 to 60, anywhere from $40,000 to $70,000, it's gonna have some miles on it. It's gonna have about 400 to 600,000 miles. In some cases, 700,000 miles, depending on where you get it from. Now, depending on where you get the truck from, and a lot of these used trucks, they're old fleet trucks. These companies don't ran the shit out of these trucks. They're old company driver trucks. They haven't been maintained. You don't know where they come from. They've been maintained only up to the standards of the manufacturer standards. And a lot of these fleets, they do the bare bone maintenance on them. And like a lot of these fleets, like Schneider or JB Hunt, they only do PMs on these trucks by every 50,000 miles. Like, they push the PM intervals way out. Like with me, I take my truck in every 30,000 miles. Anywhere from 15 to 30,000 miles. I do a grease about every 5,000 miles. and then in the 15 to 30,000 miles, I'll go ahead and do a PM, depending on where I'm at. I'll look at the oil. If the oil is really dirty and the fuel filter is full, I'll go ahead and do a PM. It just depends. Somewhere in that 15 to 30. Like 20, 25,000 miles. But the point is that you can't, like a lot of guys, what they do is they look only at the payment. They say, oh, I'm going to go get a used truck because the payment is low. But what a lot of guys don't understand is that you go get a used truck, the truck is not under warranty. Well, it's the manufacturer's warranty is expired. Something go wrong with that truck, you got to come out the pocket. You got to pay all the labor, the shop labor. You got to pay all the parts and everything. And to repair a truck, it just depends. You looking at, I mean, you know, just to have a shop look at it, you just to pull your truck in there, you're looking at $1,000 just to go in there, and then it goes up from there. You'd be looking at a $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 repair bill, depending on what it is. Just because you went and got a used truck. Not saying that new trucks don't break down, but I got this newer truck, and it's covered on a warranty. The only thing I'm worried about is the engine and the transmission. That's all I'm worrying about. The engine and the transmission got a 500,000 mile warranty on it. Depending on what it is, it's up to 600,000, like certain parts. But in general, engine and transmission got 500,000 mile warranty on it. Now that's gonna cover me until I pay the truck off. And by the time I pay the truck off, I should have enough capital. I'm hoping to have about $20,000 to $30,000 backed up, so that way when it's time to do an engine overhaul, you can go ahead and drop $20,000, $30,000 on the end frame. You know, new pistons, new head. You know what I mean? And to me, that I think that's just a better deal, because it allows you, it gives you time to build up that capital. You know what I mean? You got to be disciplined, because if you know that's a goal, go ahead and do that. Now, a lot of guys gonna have their opinions about that, but that's how I would do it. But here's the thing: you go out there and get a used truck, you're putting up a whole lot of risk. You can go out of business just like that. And not saying you can't go out of business with a new truck, but with a used truck, I don't agree with that, because yeah, your truck note is low. You got that $1,500 a month truck note. You know, $400 a week, whatever. You know, $400 a week times 4, that's about $1,600 a month. So about 15, you know, $350 a week. Okay, if you got a $400 a week truck note, you need to be putting back $400 or $500 a week in your maintenance fund. And I've talked to guys who do this. That's exactly what they do. And a lot of guys don't understand, like, okay, yeah, your truck note is lower, but you got a used truck with no warranty. Okay? If you get a truck from Long Mountain Wholesale Finance, they give you like 30, 60 days on the warranty, but that's not enough. You need a warranty for a year out, 6 months out, 8 months out. You know what I mean? And you need that truck, when you put the key in the ignition, you need that truck to turn over every time. That's what you need. Unless you got $20,000, $30,000 in the bank, and a lot of guys don't have that. And I think getting a lease purchase truck, either doing a short lease to build up that capital to go get a used truck, you can do that to build up the capital. But to go run out there with all your last pennies on with $5,000 to go get a used truck, I disagree with that. Because a used truck can just completely eat up a $5,000. $5,000 with a used truck ain't shit. You know what I mean? Like, you take your truck in the shop, it can easily cost you about $5,000 to $10,000 for all kinds of shit. All right. So my point of this video is like, you guys got to look at the big picture when you looking at getting a truck. You got the quote unquote security of a new truck, but the payment is higher. And then you have the risk of a used truck with the payment low, but you got to have that cash on hand to run that used truck. Because anything that breaks or fall off that truck is on you. Now with this truck, everything is pretty much on a warranty. You know, the engine or whatever. Probably the only thing I would have to pay is probably like a tow. And maybe a little, you know, maybe little small other things that, you know, the warranty doesn't cover. That, you know, little small things. But it's just something to think about when you considering a new and a used truck. It's not always like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go get a used truck, and because not all trucks are the same. It's like a lot of guys, they see trucks. You know, you roll up to a used truck dealer and you see the price on the glass of the truck, and it say $50,000-$60,000, right? Well, that's cheaper than a $150,000 truck, but at the same time, it's like, well, that used truck, you don't know where that truck came from. You don't know who drove it. You don't know the condition of that truck. So, like this truck here, I've had it since it had 30,000 miles on it. I know this truck. I look at it, I pre-trip it every day. I know this truck. So, because I take it and get the PMs. You know what I mean? And I spend money on the truck. So I know. I crank it up every day. I run down the road every day. Okay? About 4 months ago, I got a bolt in my tire, one of my drive tires. I went into the Pilot, and I got a plug kit to plug a hole I got in my tire. The tire still runs good. It's good, you know. Now I could have easily called roadside service, and they could have charged me $100-$200 to plug a damn a nail hole in my tire, but I know better. You know what I mean? So it's like I spent $10 on that plug kit, and I plugged the tire. Now those are little small things with all trucks, cars you have to deal with, but when we talk about engine and transmission stuff, that stuff can eat you alive. You know, it's just something to think about. I just want to make this quick video, man. It's like when you guys looking at these trucks, you want to consider the bigger picture. There's a big picture we looking at here. It's not always, yeah, the truck note is lower. Because when you get equipment with 600,000, 700,000, 800,000 miles on it, it's time for an engine overhaul. So I'm already planning out for that. If I'm gonna keep this truck and I take it up to 600,000, 700,000, 800,000 miles, I'm trying to plan out, okay, I need to have about $30,000 put back so I can go ahead and just put the truck in the shop. They go ahead and put a new do an end frame, do an engine overhaul. I mean, these Detroit engines, they pretty strong. I mean, a lot of them, I hear a lot of guys, they running these engines all the way up to 1,000,000 miles. But the old Detroit Series 60 engine, I mean, I don't know too much about these DD15s, but I hear some guys holding on to these DD15s and running up to 1,000,000 miles. So, you know, but it's just something to think about. Those are the things you have to think about when you get in a truck, not just the payment. You know, because you can make payments all day long, but you need to have money put back for either new or used truck. You need to have way more money for a used truck. Okay? So it's like, yeah. So I just want to make this video, man. It's like because it's like, you know, I was watching Andre Jackson's videos, and he's got this one video when he's sitting up there, you know, crunching numbers on a pen and pad, you know, deciding on whether you get a new or used truck. And this is my opinion on that. All right. But yeah, man, I'll see y'all next time, man. Just want to make a quick video. I'll see y'all next time.